Okay guys, so today I will be replacing the sway bar end links right here. You see right there, there's one ball on the bottom that I loosened up already, and the bolt at the top. Now I have the car sitting down on the ground with no jacks and no jack stands, and so far the only thing I've done is I've used a, let's see, is it this one? No. So let me see this one. I used a 6 millimeter Allen wrench to stick it in there, and then what I did is I got a 17 millimeter ratchet for that nut, and I just held it in while I twerked this down, because what happens is the inside bolt will spin on you while you're trying to loosen out this nut. So again, you will need a 6 millimeter Allen wrench or Allen socket, and you will need a 17 millimeter ratchet to get that bolt off. Now once you remove that bolt, you're going to want to remove the top one. The top one, you're going to use a deep socket, let's see, deep socket 14. Yes, a deep socket 14. And you're going to want to take that one off. Alright. There's one. Stick this one. Alright then, so I got tired of turning it because it's actually going to turn for a good while. Now once you get that top bolt or that top nut off, you're going to want to take off this plate. Take off this bushing right here. And everything, you're going to want to set it down just the way it came off to make sure you will get the next one correctly in there. Now, all you're going to want to do now is get it from the bottom. Wiggle the bottom part out. Oh, there we go. Wiggle the bottom part out. Once you wiggle the bottom part out, the top will just slide out like that. Okay, so again, all you're going to want to do, sitting in there like that, just wiggle it out from here. And then when you put the new one in, the only thing you're going to want to do is kind of just lean this one up a little bit to kind of help you kind of scoop it in there like that. Now I want to go ahead and get the parts. We have here, we are doing our tie rods as well. Let me see if I can set the camera up. And then the only other thing you're going to want to do is also, you're going to need a grease gun. if your new one is like this, the old one was a non-serviceable one. Serviceable, I mean that it doesn't have the ball joint valve fitting to grease it up more. For the new one, you're gonna want to get a grease gun and stick it in and lube that up. And you're just gonna want to give it about a good 4 or 5 pumps, or till you start seeing grease come out of the bushing. I give it a good 4 or 5, and here you go. Some grease is coming out from here now. That's good. Either way, when this gets installed, it will grease out a little bit, not too much. Alright, and let's install these bushes on there before we get this part and try to fit it in. Now you're going to want to put a plate first, and then you're going to want to put the bushing in. I put the letters pointing up on the first one, and on the second one I put the letters pointing down. Okay, now that we have this like that, we're going to get it and we're going to stick it in. Okay, so first you're going to want to stick it in from the top. Line it up in there. Once it's in there, you're going to want to fix it up from in here. Oh my god, I'm going to need both hands for this. Let me see. Okay, now it's going to be a little hard to put it in, just a little bit, not too much. All you're going to want to do is mainly just push up on the new sway bar in link. Push up on it to just kind of wedge this sway bar up, just a tiny bit, not too much. And then you're going to get the bushings, and again, you're going to put the letters aiming down, and the plate along with the new nut that will be on top. Okay. Now besides this, there is a washer. A washer that we will put on this bottom half right here. And then we'll set the new nut on there. Just like so. And there you go, we have the washer right here, and then we have the nut on top. We have the one at the top right here with the bushings, plate, bushing, then the sway bar, and then bushing, and then plate with the nut at the top. Let's see, let me turn this over here. Now I'm gonna tie in the top one. Not all the way, but oh, that's right. After we changed it, it's no longer a 14, but I think it's actually 17 now. Yeah, 17. And for the bottom one, it will be 17 as well. Okay, so 17 now, and then the top one will also be 17. Let's see. You can set this up again. I don't think you can see anything up there. I hope you can see right there. You can see right there. I hope so. Okay, let's change this right here. Put this. Oh no, that was actually not a 17 weight. The top one will actually be, oh my bad, it is a 17. I just wasn't doing it with the 17. That means that the bottom one is not going to be 17, but if not, it's going to be something like, let's see, what was it, a 19? Yes, a 19. Let's put this 19 in. Try to push this in a little bit more. It's not really getting it there. That's right, the back plate moves. Okay, so when you're gonna take this down, the back plate will start moving on you a bit. So what you will need to do is use a 17, I believe. Is it a 17 or a 19? Okay, a 19. I'm going to use a 19. Give me a second while I look for 18. Yes, an 18. Okay, so the 19 fitted, but the 19 fitted a little bit loose. It's actually going to be an 18 millimeter. I'm going to hit it with the gun right now. Oh crap, wrong way. No, I can't do it with the gun. Doesn't give me enough clearance. I'm gonna have to do it by hand. Okay. Alright, so we have that one set in there. And then we're just going to tighten up the top one, which was a 17, I believe. Get the 17 here. Let's put it in there. And then we're going to torque this one down by hand just to make sure we get the good feel for it. You don't want to have it too tight, but you don't want to have it too loose either. Now, since it does have the bushings in there, you don't want to get it super tight to where it just no longer turns. You're going to want to get it tight enough to where you can feel some good pressure on those bushings. That's about right there. That's about perfect right there. Now let's try with 17. Make sure this one is tight on here. Okay, and there you go. We have the sway bar end link installed now. It was only this bolt right here that at the end it turned out to be an 18 after it got replaced, and this one up here turns out to be a 17 after it got replaced. Originally I think it was a 14, and this one I think was a 17. So these bolts are bigger, and then this part is actually a little bit thicker, so it's going to be a lot better. We're going to go ahead and replace the inner and outer tie rods as well, and front brakes and rotors on this vehicle.